Greetings. Welcome to this edition of Pan-African Digest. Today is October 4th, 2025. Thank you very much for watching our podcast and for visiting our blog. Please help us to keep on sharing our links. Thank you very much. Today, I'm going to discuss one of the latest blog articles I published. It was the title is African Misrulers and their annual pilgrimage of the ridiculous at the UNGA. That's the United Nations General Assembly. I would like you to take a look at these two videos I'm displaying here. One shows the president of Sierra Leone making a big speeches at the United Nations. The second one under is the state of affairs of Sierra Leone. You can see the poverty level, and you can see the president of Sierra Leone making fantastic speeches. My article was about the ridiculous, the lack of inability of African leaders to be self-reflective. Their lack of inability to think and to even consider how other people look at them. The question that agitates my mind is, what do these leaders think when they mount rostrums in New York, addressing the world, talking big, their chest puffed off? The whole world can see the appalling state of most of African countries. Every September, these misleaders, as I call them, take the first class seats to go and make themselves available at the United Nations General Assembly, talking about the same issues they've been talking about since forever and a half, which of course nobody takes serious. Why would the world take us serious when they can see that we are not a serious people? A few days ago, Nigeria celebrated 65 years. And that means that for over half a century, we have been managing our affairs in Africa. Unfortunately, we cannot present to the world what we have achieved with what the 60 plus years of our nationhood. And the sad thing is that these plantation managers who call themselves presidents in Africa, they have no shame, they have no sense of irony. You live behind the countries that still struggling for basics. Electricity is a major production. The same thing with water. Most of your roads are impassable. You cannot feed yourself. You have no factory. You have no textile factories to manufacture your own clothes. Yet you pump yourself up. You stand there demanding the same nonsense you've been demanding for eternity. Of course, out of politeness, they will listen to you and give applause when it's necessary. But as Africans, which you consider an affront that our leaders keep on disgracing us every year. Let's consider the example of Sierra Leone. Why can't Mr. Bio sit down at home and try to fix some of the problem in this country, instead of wasting the scarce resources of this country on useless pilgrimages to New York? Of course, we know that after this nonsensical speeches they gave at the General Assembly, they go and do what they like to do best: serious shopping at the most expensive shopping centers in America. Laden with all these goodies, they come back presiding over the same nonsense, watching their citizens suffer in unnecessary conditions, primitive conditions. They don't care. And any sorry, but what I have here is that many Africans keep on proclaiming that we deserve to be respected. We deserve a seat at the United Nations Security Council. We deserve this, we deserve that. Sorry to disappoint you, but as I wrote in one of my articles, respect is not an entitlement. You are not entitled to anyone's respect. You have to earn it. That is the brutal truth which we don't seem to grasp in Africa. Oh, the world should respect. Why should they respect us? Do we respect ourselves? China is not up there demanding to be respected. The same thing with Russia. Iran is not begging to be respected. These countries, you have to demonstrate that you are worthy of respect before anyone will take you serious enough to respect you. No, it's not by fiat. Respect me. Why should they respect you? No. It is. You can go to my blog and search for the article. I wrote it bluntly, as always. Go and read it. Nobody is entitled to anyone's respect. We can leave Africa. Our plantation managers go there and respect. I mean, of course, the UN diplomats they're too polite to tell you to get off. They're too polite to tell you go and show your respect wherever you want to put it. But they will listen. They will applaud. They nod their head after that. What? They know that you are just releasing gas. You are emitting nonsense. So they don't take you serious. And there's no reason why they should take us serious. The other thing I would like to touch upon is the UN organization itself. In several of my articles, I wrote that until we are in Africa are serious with our affairs, no one will take us serious. We are said to be about 1.5 billion people on the continent of Africa. Just imagine a supposedly international organization where the fate of the world is determined. We are not at the table. The General Assembly of the United Nations is just a talking shop. No one take any blah blah blah. People monitor there seriously. Any resolutions of the UN General Assembly is not an international law. It's not mandatory. They can be ignored, and most of the time they are ignored. The only body of the United Nations with power, with real power, is the United Nations Security Council, with 5 permanent members: USA, Russia, China, France, and the UK. That is where the real decisions of the resolutions of the United Nations Security Council are binding. They are international laws. They are binding on every UN member. And unfortunately, with our 51 countries and our 1.5 billion citizens, Africa hasn't got a single seat on the permanent seat of the UNC. Of course, they rotate few members every year but without the veto power. So we have a situation where declining powers, colonial relics like France and the UK, have more power than the whole of Africa. And our misrulers find this acceptable. Every year, we are told that they are going to be reformed the UN. Africa will be given 1 or 2 seats, blah, 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 blah. And this has been going on for decades. If we are serious as a people, if you want to be taken seriously, we will tell the United Nations that through the AU that Africa will boycott the United Nations until there's real reform which recognizes the power and the people of Africa. If tiny Europe can be given 2 veto powers at the UN, There is no reason why Africa should demand for less than two veto powers. It is very, I think it's not as hard as, if we are serious, I don't see it as a very hard thing to do. We throw it to the United Nations. Until you are ready to do it, we're not participating. We are boycotting the United Nations until there's a genuine reform. The UN was a creation of a post Second World War. The world has changed since then. The institution created then are of little values today. We need real reform. And until these clowns, we call them leaders, until they can sit down at the AU meetings and decided that they are speaking for Africa, and they are no longer to tolerate being mistreated by any international organization. It is then you are speaking from a powerful position. But if you are begging your decision, no one takes you serious. Let me give you the example of what happened during the independence struggle in Zimbabwe. The Nigerian government then with their dynamic foreign policy. The British government was supposed to approve something to grant independence to Zimbabwe. Margaret Thatcher was dealing and darling and making excuses. What Nigeria did was to nationalize the British petroleum. That concentrated the mind of the so-called Iron Lady. Zimbabwe got independence in rapid fire way. Nigeria didn't go to beg. Nigeria didn't go to beseech. Nigeria demanded from a position of strength. Of what value is the United Nations to us when we are so disrespected? How can France, look at France, look at UK. How can UK have more power in a global affair than the whole of Africa? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. And these are the questions we should be posing to our so-called leaders. Those shameless people who go and keep on disgracing us. This is what I bring for you today. And please try to reflect on them. Thank you very much for supporting our efforts, for liking our links, and please help us to keep on sharing them until we come your way again. I say, Ireo.